Hey there guys, what is going on? We got an exciting one for you today with the latest patch. This is the one that did get delayed a little while, but it is finally coming out very, very soon. It's alleged to be coming out at 5 p.m. my time, so Australian Eastern Standard Time, and I believe 11 p.m. Pacific Time. This will probably already be out by the time you guys are watching this video and by the time I've edited it and sorted it and got it uploaded onto YouTube. But there is a lot of exciting stuff in here that we do have to talk about, and I'm happy to keep you guys up to date with what is going on here. This was supposed to be, I think, out on, Wednesday, from memory. But yeah, we got it on Friday, so not too bad. Rightio, we are starting with a new coalition operator, which is Talon, and I believe... Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Talon might be this man. I honestly have no idea, but once you jump into the game, you will see that Talon is available. We also do have a Khandor Hideout 24/7 playlist in Modern Warfare multiplayer, which is, of course, the new map that they are adding as part of Season 2. This was supposed to be added in on, like I said, Wednesday, but we are, of course, getting it today, which is very, very exciting. I always love to see new maps in this game, so we will, of course, test it out as soon as we can. We might end up making a fair few videos this weekend as well. We don't normally upload on the weekends, but we might end up doing that today. We have NVG Infected multiplayer mode, Infected in the Dark. Survivors have a thermal sight and limited NVG battery, but the infected can see in the dark, realism damage, so make those headshots count. That's kind of cool. So night vision goggles multiplayer is pretty cool. Really adds to that spooky vibe of zombies and infected mode, but we will see how this goes. I'm not a massive fan of Infected. Like, it's pretty fun, and you're going to have some pretty good moments doing it, but it's just one of those sort of gimmicky, fun game modes and stuff. We do have a game mode being added to, I believe, the Plunder game mode, Blood Money. Guaranteed cash drops on all kills, bounty contracts, and finishing move pay extra cash, which is kind of cool. So you finish those, get those finishing moves, and you do those contracts, and you do get a bit of extra cash. I mean, in Warzone, like, finishing moves are pretty hard to pull off, so if you do get that, you hopefully will be paid handsomely. In the general fixes column, we do have a number of bug fixes, and I imagine these are probably going to cover Warzone and multiplayer, and I think they're sort of specified in the categories that they are in. So with this, when using a tack insert in a crawl space near the oil derrick on Rust, the player will spawn elsewhere. Apparently I thought that had been fixed already, but apparently it was still a problem, so they did fix that now. When using keyboard and mouse, the navigation arrows used to change which season you're viewing go in the wrong direction. This has been fixed. That's such a silly bug. Fixed a bug where the kill cam showed the player that they were killed by thermite rather than the underbarrel thermite. Not too big of an issue as well. Some cases, Xbox players might experience stuttering after the console had been in rest mode and then the instant on setting is enabled. Fair enough. Fixed for a bug where players could see daily challenges rewarding duplicate rewards instead of XP. Kinda okay, I guess. We now show weapon and equipment counts in the kill cam. If a player was using stopping power, then the ammo count will be orange to denote this. We also show whether a player was using dead silence in the kill cam as well. Adding dead silence to the kill cam makes it a little bit easier, and it's sort of a little bit easier to take when you can't hear someone and they kill you and you wonder why, whether they had dead silence on or not, so that's pretty nice. Since the 3rd of the 10th update, some players could encounter white flashes of light VFX when shooting, standing next to a wall, object, or another player. I saw that on Twitter very, very recently, and it has apparently been fixed, hopefully. If you did see that issue, it will hopefully be gone for you. I'm a little bit disappointed with the weapon balancing in this patch because there's not really an awful lot to talk about. Increase the max travel time for crossbow bolts from 3 to 6 seconds for longer distance shots. Bolt action rechamber will now no longer be re-triggered if interrupted after the round has been ejected. Okay, I'm not sure what... I mean, none of these are actually just like, this weapon does less damage, so it doesn't really matter too much to me. And removing inaccurate attachment descriptions for the Solazera NVG Enhanced Scope Optic Glint visible to enemies. Fair enough. I mean, with these, there's not too much to write home about. It's nice that the crossbow has received, like, a little bit of changes. Like, other than that, there's nothing really much to speak about here. It's a little bit lame. I always look forward to the weapon balancing in these patches, and we've been a little bit disappointed here, so we'll move on. We had a little bit of tuning to some perks here by the looks of things. Amped has increased reload speed for the Strela P, the Pillar, and the Joker. These are the rocket launchers, which is kind of cool. EOD damage resistant fixes and tuning fixed an issue where thermite equipment was not showing the damage resistance icon even though damage resistance was being applied. And stuck thermite and thermite bolts no longer have their damage reduced. Okay, fair enough. Again, nothing too significant to worry about there. Field Upgrade Pro. Stopped cases where failed field upgrade placements would cause equipment to be used. Hey, fair enough, man. This is the number one complaint from me about using Field Upgrade Pro. If I use it in the wrong slot, it'll just try and play I'll try and place like my C4 or chuck a grenade, and that just doesn't work for me, bro. It's so annoying, and hopefully this is actually fixed, because this was supposed to be fixed one of the other patches that came out. So hopefully I did a decent job here. Tactical insert added broken tactical insert icon that is shown when the tac insert is destroyed. Deployable cover can now be destroyed in a number of different ways. Added stats for vehicles. Fair enough. EMP drone allowed the EMP drone to be used at the start of a new round in multi-round game modes. Not very interesting. We doubled the amount of stopping power ammo given to akimbo weapons, which is kind of cool. Ooh. PC. Stun grenades are now less intense. Is this a massive nerf to stun grenades? We'll never know. It's going to have to go into the game and find out and do some testing. But, I mean, this is a good if it does what it says, hopefully. Several fixes to prevent crashes and improve stability. Yeah, sure, man. Sure. You say this every time, and yet there's still crashes and instability, so whatever. What are you going to do? Looks like there's some more changes to special operations that I'm not really going to talk about too much. I'm not really massively interested in these special ops, so we'll skip over it there. We have bug fixes for ground war that resulted in player falling through the map upon spawning on a tank as it became full. That's kind of lame. It's good to see that fixed. Warzone. These are some big Warzone changes that we've got here. New weapons can be found on the ground and in supply boxes. The 725 shotgun, the Mark II carbine, the EBR-14, and the 50GS Deagle handgun. That's kind of cool. That's very, very cool to see some actual variety in some of the weapons that you do find on the ground and in boxes, because it's getting a little bit tiresome just finding like the MP7, finding the SCAR, the other Mark II thing. You know, just you want more variety in weapons that you find. The MG34, I think it is. MG24, 34. Yeah, just finding the same weapons in the ground is a little bit tiresome. So being able to find new stuff on the ground is very, very cool. Players who disconnect in Last Stand will now drop their items when leaving the game. Okay. Fixed for a bug when the animation for the player equipping a gas mask will interrupt and block players from destroying, or deploying rather, their parachute. Okay, fair enough. I had actually noticed that there was a little bit of a problem where if your mask actually broke, you'd have to pull the mask off before you could even shoot. And if you're in a gunfight, that's really, really lame. Like, that's very unhelpful. It is part of the game, unfortunately, but, you know, what can you do, really? Apparently, they have tuned up close shotgun damage to prevent a single shotgun blast from downing a fully armored player. Stopping power can still make this happen. I mean, like, that's kind of lame. That's a fairly significant nerf. Like, if you do have a shotgun, you do sort of expect it to sort of kill someone when you are point blank, one shot. You should be able to kill someone even if they have armor, as far as I'm concerned. But this is an interesting change that they've made, so shotguns will be a little bit worse up close, but you'll have to land like a second shot, and that might not be possible sometimes, so that's sort of something you'll have to deal with. Added a Warzone specific controller button layouts. The bumper ping and bumper ping flip layouts will now allow playing Warzone with a controller to use the ping feature more efficiently. So rather than having to push like one of the directional buttons, I think it was, you'll actually be able to use the bumpers to ping, which is kind of cool. In Plunder, players can no longer stack self-revive kits. I did not know that you could do that. Players that are spectating still get Plunder payouts from contracts, but only at 40% of the value paid to living targets. Okay, kind of cool. Fixes to help prevent hitching when interacting with cash deposit helicopters and recon contracts. Plunder's actually really cool. I think Plunder's actually very, very underrated in the new sort of Warzone thing. Plunder's actually very, very fun game mode. It's just way faster action, way more shit going on all the time. And like when you're at the helicopters, it is very, very exciting. It's very, very cool. And for Battle Royale, we do have a fix for a rare bug that allowed players to equip 2 riot shields if they had 2 different camos, but only one would appear on the player. That is hilarious. Made it easier to see which item is being selected while using the buy station, updated button menu layout for equipment and using the gamepad, fixed a bug for players that are not receiving a banner at the top right for allies or enemies initiating kill streaks, preventing bullets that hit the riot shield from depleting players' armor. That's dumb. Can't believe that was a thing. If players fly the recon drone out of bounds, the player will still hear the out of bounds timer, but will not see the countdown flash on their screen. This has been fixed. Okay. Fixed for various and potential exploits. Field upgrade. Fixed a bug where some field upgrades were not ending at end of pre-match. Okay. Players will now get a kill when someone that you've downed disconnects from the game. Okay. Reduce the amount of cash given for averting a bounty. Oh, that's kind of lame. And increase the price of loadout drop within the buy station to 8,500. That is a nice change. One of the things that I've seen people complaining about is the actual loadout drops themselves, as they're too cheap and everyone just sort of ends up with the same sort of weapons and stuff like that. But increasing the buyout or the buy station sort of price makes that a little bit less common, makes it a little bit harder to get them. I mean, you're still still only 8,500. Maybe it'd be better if it was like 10,000 or something like that. So it was an actual effort to try and get that much money. But other than that, like, that's a very, very good change. You'd love to see them sort of listening to people's feedback about what they want changed about the game. But those are the patch notes for the newest patch, the Modern Warfare and Warzone patch notes, or March 26th. Well, 27th for me, but 26th for some of you if you live in the US. Of course, this is probably already out by the time you are watching this video, by the time I've sorted it out. But yeah, it's good to keep you guys in the loop as to what is going on in the world of Call of Duty with all the patch notes and stuff. I'll definitely try and make a Khandor Hideout video, see if it is any good. I think it's going to be pretty good map from what I can tell. It's going to have decently long sight lines and stuff like that, and a lot of different sort of corridors for shotguns and SMGs to sort of run around, so it's going to be pretty cool. But yeah, this was another patch notes video that I did make. I do like making these, keeping you guys up to date with what's going on. I do appreciate it. Of course, if you did like this one and it did help you out at all, make sure you do leave a like and do subscribe if you are new around here. Of course, we did very recently hit 500 subscribers, and we are of course rocketing our way towards 600, which is pretty wild. Like, I think we've had about 40 odd subscribers in the last like 4 or 5 days, which is pretty crazy. So please keep that going for me. I do appreciate it an awful lot. Thank you very much for watching this one, guys. I will see you in the next video. Bye.